On this episode of Know Your Body,
we welcome Moe Jeudy-Lamour, actor. You might know Moe as the goalie in Ted Lasso, but we know him best as a patient.
Moe, pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah,
it's good to see you. You know, my audience probably wants to know more about you and how you got started. You are the man in Ted Lasso, probably.
I'm not the man.
In our opinion, you're the man. One of the most fun characters.
I'll take you. I'll take that.
And would love to know how you got started.
For sure. Everything started as a kid when my brother and I, we used to watch like 3 movies a day all the time. We loved movies. To this day, I still like. Now it's more like TV because TV is so much bigger, but I'll watch an episode or 2 a day, you know, like I'll try to always watch things.
Do you watch yourself?
Not really. It's so weird because like even on the show on Ted Lasso, like every single time there's a scene where I'm in it, I remember everything about shooting it. So I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember texting my buddy this like right before that moment, you know? Yeah. And so like it takes me out of the show completely because I'm just like, oh, they took this line. Like I thought I did better on a different take.
So you don't want to distract yourself.
It's just very distracting. So like my girlfriend will watch it all the time, but I'm just like I think I've watched the whole show maybe twice.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's just it takes me out of it. But sometimes I'll watch other scenes. Like I have like my favorite episode is episode 11 of the last season. The name of the episode is Mom, and it was written by like one of my close friends, Joe Kelly. So I love that episode. It was a really cool episode, and it was a fun episode to shoot too. And obviously, my character has the most to do on that episode. Yeah, so it all started with me, my love for like entertaining. You know, like we were raised by a single mom, and so we were kind of raised by TV, and so. You know, like the John McClane, you know, on Die Hard or Predator or like all those movies, Terminator. For me was like, I love those movies. I always wanted to be an actor, but I didn't realize that it was even possible because I'm from Montreal, Canada. So it's like, it's nowhere near LA, you know? So for me, I was like, this is an impossibility. And then at one point, I'm working at Best Buy.
In Montreal.
Best Buy in Montreal. And then I see this really cool dude who comes in with a trench coat, black dude with a trench coat. I'm like, oh, that's Orlando Jones. What is he doing in Montreal? So I'm like, hey, do you need any help with anything? He's like, yeah, I'm looking for this. I'm like, yeah, I walk with him. I'm like, so you're filming something here? He's like, yeah, I'm filming a movie with this director. And I'm like, oh yeah, he did this and this and this. And he's like, how do you know directors like that? I'm like, well, you know, I always wanted to be an actor, so I watch a lot of movies and stuff, but like, you know, it's impossible. I live in Montreal. He's like, it's not impossible, dude. I'm literally in front of you. Like, it's a possibility. You should never say that. And if you really want to do it, you should go to Vancouver because in Vancouver, there's not a lot of black people. So you'll be working a lot. And a lot of American like productions will come here, will come to Montreal. Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. Montreal will be sometimes kind of like New York, Paris, Europe, you know. Toronto is like New York, they really make it New York. And then Vancouver will be like anywhere in the world really. And so he's like, yeah, you should go to Vancouver. So I listened to him, the same summer, I moved to Vancouver.
Oh wow.
And then he was right.
With no plan, just kind of went
no
out there.
plan.
You basically, I want to go to Vancouver, I want to act.
Yeah.
But you have no job. How do you find a place to live? Like, what are the steps there?
So I had a friend of mine who, she got me in touch with an agent over there, and she lived there, and so I stayed with her. I was there, I moved there, and I think I stayed for like a month and a half or something like that. And it was great. He was right. The auditions I had were auditions I would have now, you know, so like for leads and stuff like that. Because he was correct. Yeah. But I was horrible because I had never done that before. So I was just like, oh my God, this is so difficult. I was really bad.
Tell me more about, like, what do you mean by really bad? How do you define that?
Well, learning lines, you know, learning lines, having a bunch of ideas as opposed to, you know, a lot of the times when you get cast in something, it's you get cast when you enter the casting room. Okay. Like right away, it's like, oh, this is the character.
That's the guy, yeah.
And then it's yours to lose.
Yeah.
Because then if you start being like, oh, I have this whole character that I thought about, and they're like, no, we liked you when you entered the room. We want this on screen. Just say the lines that are written, you know? Yeah. That's when you're, but then when you're a character actor, like Willem Dafoe. Yeah. Willem Dafoe is like the perfect example. He's gonna come in and you'll be like, what? What did he just do? Like Johnny Depp, character actor. Yeah. You're like, that was like the whole Pirates of the Caribbean, like Jack Sparrow was not on the page. He was not supposed to be this way. It was written like a straight man. Like he was supposed to be just like, says the line and he's like debonair and cool and all, but he's not supposed to be like all over the place in the frame and all of that. So that's like
improvisation.
It's improv, but it's also like he's a character actor.
Yeah.
So this you will never know. He enters the room and he completely changes and then you're like, oh my God, yes, we want this. But for me, it's more like I entered the room and they're like, oh yeah, we want that. But then I would come in with this character and it's like, what are you doing? That is not it, dude. And so I didn't know what I was doing, which is normal, you know? I did that, didn't book anything, you know, but I auditioned for pretty cool parts. And so I come back to Montreal, and then Montreal is like, oh my God, you went and lived in Vancouver? That means you're good. So now we really want you. But before that, they didn't want me, you know? So I got an agent like this. And then I started auditioning, and I started booking things here and there, smaller parts. Yeah. A lot of the parts where you can speak with an American accent. And so you look African-American. So here's a part that we're supposed to be in Detroit, we're supposed to be in New York, we're supposed to be in, you know, New Orleans or whatever. And so I did a lot of those. And then a friend of mine, his name is Josh Hopkins, who's like, he's still a close friend of mine. He was like, you know, if you stay in Montreal, you'll work all the time. You'll have smaller parts here and there. It'll be cool, you'll work, you'll be with your friends, your family, and everything's gonna be fine. But if you wanna win the Super Bowl, you have to come to LA. And I was like, whoa. So same summer I moved to LA.
And what was that process? Did you know people here to stay?
I had my best friend moved out here, Julian. So he moved here maybe 4 years before me.
So you guys were friends from Montreal?
We're friends from Montreal. We met in college. He's from France, and he moved to Montreal for college. And then he saw me on TV, and he was like, oh, kind of the same story where he thought it was impossible. And he's like, oh, wait, this guy's doing it. What the hell? So I was like, yo, and he's not that good. So he can do, if he can do it, I can. So like he started doing it too. And then he moved out here to study, and then to study acting. And then 4 years later, I came here. I booked a play at the Pasadena Playhouse, and that was the number one thing that taught me, because you know I felt like I never knew. You know, it's not like for you, as you have to go to med school, you had so many exams, and so you know you can do what you're doing because there's a path to where you are now. As an actor, you can be off the street, you can and be amazing. It's so many stories of like, this guy was just serving us at the restaurant, and we saw that his vibe was cool, and we gave him a part, and he's fucking amazing, you know? So for me, it was like, I want to like learn, and I want to be better, but I didn't have the opportunity. I went to like political science in college because I wanted to become a lawyer, you know? Moving out here, I auditioned. The first audition I did was a play at the Pasadena Playhouse, and I booked it. And I was like, oh, wait, what? Well, it's theater. I've never done theater. How the hell am I gonna do that? I had never even watched a play. The first night, I was like, yo, this is awesome. Like I knew at like 8:20, I was gonna say no, and 800 people were gonna laugh. Like every single night, and twice on Saturdays, I knew this was gonna happen. So I was like, yo, this is awesome. Like everything you get it right away. Yeah. Like it's not like if you're like, oh, I loved when you said this on Ted Lasso. It's like, oh, thank you so much. But I wasn't there when you watched it, and I didn't do it in person. It's not life. There's so much. It's so controlled. Yeah. Like it's obviously it's amazing. I love TV. I love movies. But theater is on another level, you know. And then it really gave me the validation of like, you can actually do this. Yeah. You can really truly do this. And also, it's like learning lines. That process for theater is like for an hour and a half. You have to know thousands of like words and all. And so it was cool. I loved it. I do it again whenever I can, you know. But thanks to doing that play, every single time they had a new play, they would invite me for the opening, and so I always went. And then I have a date. Because I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna go watch this play. It's gonna be a musical. It's gonna be fun. Do you want to come with me? She's like, yeah, for sure. So on the day of the play, I'm like, hey, you know, I text her like, hey, it's tonight. No answer. She ghosts me. Oh, wow. And so I'm like, this is a musical. It's 3 hours. I don't want to go by myself. It's gonna suck. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go. And then last minute, I'm like, I'll just go. So I go to the play. I'm by myself. There's a seat next to me, and I'm looking around. It's about to start. I see a dude looking for a seat. I'm like, Jason. Turns around, it's Jason Sudeikis. He's like, hey, Mo, what's up? How you been? Da-da-da. I'm like, oh, good. We talk, and I'm like, he helped me for my visa to come to America. You know?
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
How'd you know him?
Because I did a movie with him in Canada.
Oh, what movie was that?
Years ago. It's called Race. Oh, okay. It's one of those movies.
I didn't realize really? I didn't realize it was a Canadian movie.
It's an American movie, but filmed in Montreal because it looks like it could be anywhere in the world. Olympics, so that's one of the roles that I got thanks to that. And so I hung out with him and hung out with the whole cast a lot in Montreal because I showed them around the city because it was my city. I knew the city, but they don't know the city, you know. So I showed them the city. And so he's like, "Oh, dude, Mo, what's up? How you been?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm good, dude. I live here now, thanks to you, you know." And then he's like, "You know, I'm about to do this TV show. It's called Ted Lasso. You'll have to audition and stuff, but like you could have a good part of it." I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then I get an audition for the role, and then I book it, and then it's Ted Lasso.
That's awesome.
And so it's thanks to all of those things, you know, for me to get to that point.
So just to go back, this is an incredible story. So you're sitting in the theater, by happenstance, you see Jason walking.
Yeah.
I have an empty seat next to me. You have to thank that girl that.
That didn't show up. So he didn't sit next to me, but he sat like a few rows in front.
Okay.
But if the girl was with me, I would have missed seeing him.
Yeah.
I would have just talked to her and then even or maybe if I would have seen him, but I wouldn't like. He was like, "Oh, let's talk during the intermission," and then during the intermission, we talked for like the whole intermission. It was cool. And then after the play, we spoke for a little. I would have been like, "Hey, this is my buddy. This is my friend." You know, it would have been like awkward and weird and stuff. So that's so I'm thankful for her not coming. Trust me, I am. I'm extremely thankful for her.
Any communication since then with her?
Never.
She probably watches you on TV and says, "Oh man,
she doesn't even know. She probably doesn't even know that it's thanks to her that it happened."
Yeah.
You know.
Until now.
Until now, yeah. That's true.
Oh, that's really cool. So you were already in LA, and then you booked Race.
No, I was all in Montreal. I booked like some of the biggest roles of my career in Montreal. I booked Race, I booked X-Men, I booked a bunch of other things, smaller projects, smaller parts, but in huge projects. So when I get to LA, being on a production like X-Men was like so crazy. The things you see, and it was like literally everyone was in it. It was Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry. I will always remember my first day on set. It's a huge moment where the entire cast has to have a conversation. And it's Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen that have a monologue. And they finish each other's sentences, and it's crazy. And everybody on set is fucking quiet because it's like, yo, those are two sirs, you know? They're like, yo, they're knighted by the queen, you know? So it's like, yo, they're for real. And you watch them do it, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, everybody's just like, you know. Bryan Singer, the director, looks at Simon Kinberg, who's the writer, and he's like, something doesn't work in this scene. So Simon is like, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go in my trailer for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna rewrite the whole scene. So he leaves.
Wow.
Everybody's hanging out, you know, we're chilling. And then I asked Hugh Jackman, I'm like, hey, Hugh, what would you recommend an actor, someone who's starting acting, what would be the best advice? You should always say yes to everything. And second thing, make sure that you're always a nice person. Because nice people will prevail. Yeah. But people who are not the best are not gonna. And it's crazy because on that shoot, it was for like maybe 4.5 months. One person who's very famous got fired. Be a good person. Then Simon Kinberg comes back. He gives them a new monologue. Ian McKellen at the time was probably late 60s. Patrick Stewart, like late 50s maybe. Both of them are older men. And they both just glance at the new monologue. They glance at it, both of them, okay, yeah, okay, he says this, I said, okay, yeah. Thank you very much. And action. And both of them on point. On point. Wow. You can say, Mo, this is gonna be a monologue of 2 pages. There's all those people, Halle Berry, Hugh Jackman, all those people. We're gonna give you 50 million if you're able to say every single word. I would not be able to. But these guys were glanced at it and like, oh yeah, okay, cool, boom, 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 boom. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
How long do they have to read it?
I'm not joking, dude. They literally read it once. They glanced, but it's probably they read it once, okay, yeah, and then it was locked in. And then all the angles they did, boom, boom, boom. They never looked at it again. They just knew everything.
That's fascinating.
And the scene worked. Everything was awesome. It was absolutely outstanding to see that.
And as a younger actor at that time, it's probably fascinating to see that.
It was. It took everything in me not to applaud. It was really cool, so cool.
That's awesome.
It was so cool, but this goes to show like the learning lines and to be. It was crazy because Ian McKellen, he was like he's an older dude. If having a conversation with him, like you feel like I'm talking to someone who's an older person. But then the moment they say action, he knows your line, his lines, where the camera is, what the director said 3, takes ago that he has to do on this moment. He knows that he's moving his hand here in every take.
That's fascinating.
Like he's like so sharp, so sharp.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Going back to race, because that was a pretty good movie. And it talks about emotional subjects, right? It talks about race. It talks about, it was during the Nazi occupation of Germany.
That's it, yeah.
How did you feel? I mean, on one hand, you're just acting, you're doing lines, but did you have like an emotional feeling during that movie?
There were a lot of moments in the shoot where it kind of like hit close to home, where you're like, oh, this is like, people are saying bad words to us and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people are saying the N-word because they had to like, we have to be in character,
Yeah.
And there were a lot of moments like that, but honestly, Jason is an amazing captain. Like he's number one. He's number one on the call sheet. He knows what's up. He knows to be like, okay, this is gonna be a heavy scene. I need to lighten the mood in between takes. He's like making jokes with you. He would be boom, 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 and then it's like, okay, yeah, cool. No, we're like all in this together, and it's all jokes. It's not all jokes, but it's like it's not real. We're filming something, and that changed everything, because or else it could be such a heavy process because it's so messed up.
Yeah.
Subject is very, very messed
heavy,
up.
yeah.
Very, very heavy. But thanks to him, it was really, he made it so easy and so cool.
Sounds like in that movie, you and Jason kind of started
Big
the
time.
friendship.
Yeah. We even with Stephen James, Shamir Anderson, Chantel Riley, like we all became pretty close.
Yeah.
It was cool. To this day, we're all pretty, like, we're all friends. I mean,
that's great.
Definitely Ted Lasso, it's like, it was 3 seasons, and every season was very long, and we're all the football players together, we're all boys, like that's for sure. For a very long time, some of the guys I'll know for the rest of my life.
That's
for
amazing.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Do you still hang out with us?
Big time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Big time, yeah. We talk all the time.
That's awesome. You got the audition for Ted Lasso after you talked to Jason. So how does that work? Your agent just said, hey, you got the audition, or?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So they reached out to her and.
Yeah, and then my agent's like, this show, an American football coach that goes to the UK to be a Premier League. Okay, all right, sure. Go do that, but where's that gonna go? And then, they went to the White House. they went to the White House at one point.
Was that your favorite piece that you've worked on so far?
Yeah, it was. Because it's like it's such a good feel-good story and all of that it's like how can you hate it? It's so cool, and it's like it's the top of the top. Like the acting in it is amazing. The comedy in it is crazy, and it was one of my first like real comedy thing where I didn't know that comedy was that hard. Like it's a real like the sentence is an equation. And you have to really follow it. And And at one point I was like, I had a moment where I read it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna switch this and that. And then I do it and the whole crew laughs. Like the crew laughs and I'm like, yes, I got it. And then Jason is like, Mo, can I talk to you for a second? I'm like, yeah, what's up? It's like, yeah, it was funny, right? And he's like, so you have to say it exactly how it's written. Every punctuation, every and then he says it, he says the line back to me in my accent, how he wants to hear it. And I was like, how do you do that? Because of course he wrote it, so he knows you have to do it this way. And I'm like, okay. And then I do it, and not a lot of people laugh. And I'm like, I don't think that's funny, dude. I think the way I did it was funnier.
And you told him that?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. You're thinking that.
I was thinking that. I was like, it's not that good. And then it's my favorite moment when I watch it. When I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, it's hilarious. So many people have told me straight up, like, yo, the moment when you do this, hilarious. And I'm like, yeah, that's all Jason. That's not me.
Interesting.
So every time people are like, yo, dude, like, I loved you on the show. I'm like, yeah, I didn't do anything really. Like, it's really those guys. Like at one point, Joe Kelly tells me, and it's a moment that's so sad in the show. It's like, it's at the funeral. Okay. It's I think it's season 2. There's an episode where at the funeral, he's like, yo, at the end of the scene, when you say a hi to her, tell her you love the food. As opposed to saying, I'm so sorry for your loss, just say like, the food was awesome. And I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, no, say it. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, it'll be good. I say it and I'm like, dude, I feel bad. It's the second thing that most people tell me, like, yo, this moment is hilarious, bro. And I'm like, that's all him.
Yeah,
That's Joe Kelly. It's not me. It's like, it's one of the creators of the show, you know? So that's why I just feel like it's all them. It's their baby. It's their show. It's like they killed it. They're geniuses. They're so good at that. So
Did you have any kind of flexibility to improv during that show?
yeah. You could tell. I mean, I said a few times like, "Yo, can I say this? Could it be?" And then Jason's like, "Yeah, try it." Or Joe would be like, "Oh, that's funny. Yeah, try to say that." Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know. But like, they're so open with that.
That's great.
There's so many moments where like, especially when you uplift someone else, they'll listen and they'll be like, "Oh, that's good." Like there's a moment where, because all the guys, you know, we always hang out all together like all the time. So we know each other very well. And then at one point, we knew that Cola, the guy who plays the captain of the team, we know that he can whistle like a bird very, very well. Like if he does it and you're not looking, you'll be like, oh, there's a bird in here, you know, like right away. And so we knew he could do that. And then at one point, we're doing the okay, 1, 2, 3 break, you know, we do that in the locker room, and Zava, the new player, is meditating, and so in the rehearsal, Jamie Tart has to be like, hey, yo, we're like Zava, let's go, and then he doesn't reply because he's meditating. In the rehearsal, Tahib, who plays Samo Bisanya, he tells Jason like, oh, you know, Cola can whistle like a bird, and then Jason's like, what? And then Cola's like, yeah. He's like, all right, do it. And then he does it. And Jason's like, oh, okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to say, yo, wake up, yell. And he's not going to wake up. And so you're going to whistle like a bird and he's going to wake up then. This is just like that. And then this is in the show. And it was seconds before filming. Jason was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah. Okay. So you do this and you say that, you do that, boom, boom, boom.
Wow. And just integrated in it.
Yeah, there's so many things like that.
That's fantastic.
So many things.
That's what makes it more fun, I think.
Oh my God,
if you're just strictly just saying lines.
I mean, sometimes it's like they win Oscars for that because it's so great. It's like it's a real science.
Yeah.
But moments like this where you're like, oh yeah, but if I say that, does that work? If you say this, there was a moment where the romantic comedy episode where we all start saying people in romantic comedies, and then I say Matthew McConaughey. And then Jason's like, cool, someone else. And then someone else says something else, and then someone else says something else. And I was like, man, I really want to give Jason a note, but I don't have the balls to give him a note. But I was like, Jason, you should say, all right, after I say Matthew McConaughey. I didn't have the balls to say it. And to this day, I regret it. And if ever I have other notes not notes, but like suggestions for anyone, yeah. I'll say it like really, yo, maybe that could be cool. Because we did it a few times, and he was like, okay, cool. And then went to someone else, and then someone else said another name, and then another name. And in the last take we have, I'm like, Matthew McConaughey, and then he looks at me, all right. And I was like, what? He did it! I should have fucking told him. I should have told him, but he did it. It
still worked out, yeah.
Still worked out. I was like, this is great. I should have followed my instincts. Yeah. And just said like, yo, all right, you know? Yeah. But sometimes it's too on the nose too, though, so you don't know, you know, but... Yeah. That worked and that made the cut. So I was like, oh, I should have said something.
Next time.
Yeah, that's it.
What season was that happened?
That season, I don't know.
Because I'm wondering, was it more in the early days that you were working and you just weren't as comfortable?
No, I think it was like probably like season 2 or 3.
But you still didn't want to just kind of overstep?
No, I didn't want to overstep. You know, I mash up all seasons now. I'm not sure what happened when. I know where I lived every season, but I don't, or like big things that happened outside of the shoot, but not in the shoot.
Did you guys ever record certain parts for certain episodes and other episodes in the same kind of
cluster? So the way they do, we do block shooting. So it'll literally be like for the next month, we're going to film 2 episodes.
Right, yeah.
And sometimes it's like episode 3 and episode 6. Or maybe sometimes episode 3 and episode 5.
And I think that's why it's hard to keep
track. And so sometimes you don't know what
you're doing.
Yeah. Sometimes
bring it together.
Sometimes we'll have the script for episode 3, but not the script for the next one. So you don't know what's happening. So they'll tell you, okay, so basically we played a game and you lost, and it's because of you. And I'll be like, shit, okay. Because it's always because of me. This is the goalkeeper that f***s up, you know.
I was a goalkeeper, so I know how that feels.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Interesting that you mentioned back in the when you're talking about the X-Men and even yourself, you know, memorizing lines, memorizing scripts. I think one thing that was really interesting was that when you came in for a scan, we saw that your brain age was actually a lot younger.
Yeah, which this is really crazy because I love to just like, first off, also I read somewhere that apparently talking to yourself out loud is very good for your brain. I don't know if that's good,
Actually, I
but
didn't know that. I'm gonna look into that.
I do that a lot. I talk to myself a lot, and sometimes my girlfriend is like, why are you laughing so hard?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm hilarious. Like, I am so funny."
So I actually do that.
Oh, really?
I'll say something that makes me laugh, and I'll laugh out loud.
Out loud, yeah. But I say the whole bit.
Oh, you say the whole bit
out loud,
okay.
and then I laugh. And so she's like, and I'll do it in French, and she doesn't speak French, and she's like, "What are you doing?" But so the thing that I love to do the most, read poetry, and then I'll say it. I'll recite it. I'll be in the gym saying it, or I'll be in the shower. So sometimes I'll even just monologues, like monologues that I've seen on TV or in movies.
You just repeat them?
I'll just always like rehearse them, read them. At one point I was doing like one poem a month. And so like even long poems, I would be like, okay, I'd learn as I'd be driving. And as I drive, I'm not listening to music. I would just rehearse the lines, and then try. Sometimes also just to keep my brain working, sometimes I won't put the GPS. I'll just be like, I have to take the 605, then the 405, then do the, and then see like, oh yeah, it's 405 south I have to take. Okay, yeah, perfect, I'll do that. And then just keep doing that. And then also, it might be stupid, but like video games. I like to play video games.
Oh, video games I think help.
I think,
especially with hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, I really think sometimes, because I'm like I'm really focused for a while, and I feel my heart rate go up, and I feel like I'm like stressed, and then it's like, okay, now I'm very, very stressed. It's end game. I have to really try to calm down, and I try to calm down, and then I feel like it's a good exercise for even just not your brain, but just your body also. But yeah, so like learning lines, I think when I'm really in my bag of like, oh, I've learned a poem last week, I've been rehearsing, I'll read the script. If it's well written, I can read it like maybe 4 or 5 times and really know it. Especially if I'm with someone and like the person also has their lines and I'm reading, it's like, and I can really do that.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a muscle, and so I try to always keep it warm, but it's sometimes, life just happens, but I try to do that as much as I can.
What type of video games do you like to play?
I play Call of Duty. It's a battle royale, it's like we all arrive on one map, and it's like 140 people, and there's gas, and then at the end you're supposed to be the last person. So you have to be very tactical. You have to know what you're doing. You have to really like always look up the player count. Okay, there's 4 people left. There's a small circle. They have to be here or here or here. It's stupid to even talk about it.
It's a good mental exercise.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is to know like, okay, the person just said this. Oh, this guy's coughing, so that means that he's in the gas. That means his health is running low. He's over there. I know there's another person there. I'll let these 2 fight, and then I'll try to get the last one. It's just
strategy.
You try to
That's
be.
Smart.
Yeah, that's it. But I feel like it helps your brain not do anything. So I try to be active all the time.
They did a study on nuns. This was like in the 80s or 90s, where they looked at them. They've been doing their body science, so they would do autopsies on their bodies. And a lot of them had either dementia or Alzheimer's on autopsy, but didn't show the symptoms.
Oh, I heard of that.
Yeah. And when they looked back at them, they saw that they were either doing, they said, okay, well, what's going on that they're not showing these symptoms and they seem normal? A lot of them were engaged in card games, brain puzzles.
Oh, wow.
Like word find, crosswords, just exercise the mind. So I think there's definitely a component of, like you said, it's just like a muscle, right?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about Ian memorizing those lines, just keep exercising that muscle. It's going to stay sharp.
Yeah.
Just like if you're, constantly working out or, keeping your biceps strong or whatever it may be, you got to keep doing it. And so I think it's a use it or lose it type thing. And doing these things, I think, keeps you sharper. A lot of actors have come through here. And a lot of them have healthy brains like yourself. They have younger brain ages than their biological age.
Wow.
And especially the ones that are very creative like yourself and thinking and, kind of thinking outside the box, not just strictly acting and reading lines, but also maybe doing some production or just some creative activity. You see their brains are a lot younger.
Wow, that's really good. That's good I love to hear that because it's my job, so like I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep trying to like learn lines for no reason, learn poetry and stuff.
I think that's the other thing, right? Because if you're doing the same thing over and over again, your brain's not really exercising. It's just it's plateauing.
Yeah.
But you're always learning a new line or you're learning a new script where you have to kind of envision yourself in a new role.
Yeah.
That creativity.
And also the new thing that I've been trying to do is that I've been helping on sets. And so like the art production or camera department, I've been trying to do that. And learning new skills, I think definitely helps your brain like crazy 100%. Because I'm like, and also as an actor, to just learn how to do like, I don't know, carpentry or something like that. So then now I have to play a carpenter. I know I know what to do, and I want to look like I've been doing this for a while.
You know, the role.
Like even for goalkeeping, like I didn't know, I never played football.
Yeah.
So I played American football. I was a wide receiver, so I was catching the ball. So Jason was like, "You should be the goalkeeper. It's very similar."
Yeah.
And it's great because I'm way older than any of the other guys. And so me running as a striker or something would have been horrible. And so I'm wearing the coolest outfits, the coolest gloves, you know, and I'm just in the back chilling and not running as much as them. So it was a blast. I love doing it. But I had to learn the skill.
Yeah.
And for me, learning a new skill is, I want that to be my strength. You know, like I want to look like I've been doing this for my whole life. And so they got me a coach. They got me coaches every season, and it really, really, truly helped. It was awesome. I wouldn't have been able to do it myself.
Was it coaching for just learning the skills?
The skill of a goalkeeper,
What
like
about-
how
what
to
about
fall and stuff like that. Fitness? No, I've worked out my whole life, so I was like, yeah, that I was going to be okay.
Did they have fitness coaches for other?
They
folks?
did not. No,
because most people were just kind of in shape already.
That's
good.
Not really, but you know, I'm not gonna point, fingers.
Yeah.
Cola is not. He wasn't in shape then, but now he got in shape.
Your musculoskeletal age was also younger than your.
So this is a little bit crazy because as a kid, I was always sick. For the first few years of my life, first maybe decade, I was always sick. Like I would do a week in the hospital. It was always something. They said I had asthma. So I had asthma my whole life, my whole childhood. I remember leaving the hospital and being like, trying to put a foot in front of the other fast.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. Forget about running, And I was playing video game, one of those football games, American football games. And I always loved San Francisco. So I was like, okay, I'll be like the 49ers. So I was playing with the 49ers, throwing the ball to number 81 all the time. And he always caught it, and I was always so good with him. I was like, oh, who is this guy? His name is Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Number 81 for the San Francisco 49ers. And I was like, yo, one day I'll be as good as him and as jacked as him. And so I promised myself I'm going to work out like crazy.
How old were you?
I was about 15, 16. And so like I worked out like crazy. And then fast forward to my like last year in college, I was the fastest, the strongest in my position. I killed it. So like I basically succeeded what I was doing.
That's fantastic.
And so when they called me, they're like, yo, okay, so we just want to know what is going to be your number for Ted Lasso. You can choose your number. And I was like 81 because of Terrell Owens.
Wow.
It's because of him.
Does he know that?
I actually, dude, one of my close friends who just got married knows his manager, and his manager told Terrell Owens the story. And as I was filming season 3 of Ted Lasso, the manager pitched him for Terrell Owens to be in a commercial where he plays a goalkeeper. And then I have a video of Terrell Owens in the goal being like, hey, Mo, apparently you're number 81. I'm the real number 81. That was so cool. And so scanning people here, did you find cancers?
Oh yeah, so we've been around now for about 3 months, and we've already found 18.
18 cancers?
18 cancers.
In 3 months?
Yeah.
Wow, dude. How many scans have you guys done?
Several hundred.
You think like 200, 300?
No, more than that, about 300 or so.
Is that a
maybe
good
little
or a
more.
bad ratio?
So it's about 6% that we found cancers in. Our scan we're proud of because it's the most accurate, most comprehensive, and fastest.
Wow. Okay.
And so I'm not surprised we're finding a little bit more. The good news is that 15 of those 18s were early stage and no symptoms. They didn't know about it. And so the point there is that
You
find it
saved
early.
their lives.
Yeah, essentially. And that's the goal.
Literally.
Yeah,
that's
the goal.
crazy.
And 3 of them were advanced stage, but not to the point where
They feel it.
it's not the point where it's game over, right? It's advanced stage,
Oh,
but
wow.
they still have a chance. And even that's helpful, right? And it makes me feel good that I can help them at least detect that they have cancer and then get it treated.
But that must have been a tough conversation though.
I think of it in 2 different ways. Nobody wants that cancer diagnosis.
No.
That stinks. But hey, we found it early. Or it gives you some answers to some of a couple people had symptoms of something, they didn't know what was wrong. And so we give them the answers that they're looking for. And okay, now we know what's going on. Let's go aggressively treat this. So
Do you guys have a lot of partnerships with people?
we've tried to build a community of practice.
Yeah, right?
And so we have a lot of referral partners. All the local hospitals we know pretty well. They know us, and we send them patients. The cancer centers as well. We've developed those relationships because we want to get our patients in fast. If we see something, I get on the phone, I call them, I want you guys to see this patient ASAP.
Oh, wow.
So one of the examples, a patient that we found cancer in, I got on the phone, she got seen in the next day.
Whoa.
Got biopsied that week, on chemo the next week.
What?
And that was just us. That's what we do here. We push. Our philosophy here at CoreViva is treat every patient like your mother. And so what would I do for my
Wow.
mother, I'm going to do for you.
That's
And
great.
so, and I think that's something that our whole staff embodies. And we just want to help people. We
Yeah.
wanna help
You
people.
haven't called me every day though.
You're fine. You're a healthy guy.
No, but if you treat me like your mom, you should be talking to your mom every day, dude.
If I start calling you every day, you're going to get annoyed.
Definitely. Definitely.
And I don't even have time to do that.
Yeah, right.
I do talk to my mom every day. So, but no, yeah, I think we just want to help people.
That's really cool.
Thanks.
That's
And
really
even the ones that don't have cancer, always some insight. Like for example, even with you, right? You had a great brain, but hey, this is helping you. Keep
Yeah,
doing what
so
you're
keep doing that. Yeah,
Keep
for
doing what you're
sure.
doing. Any kind of musculoskeletal issues you have, we talked about. It's good to know those things so you know where to push, where not to push, where you can build on, what you can work on.
It definitely helped. Felt much better.
Awesome. That's
Yeah,
glad to hear
yeah.
that. That's the kind of things I like to hear, right? If I made a positive impact in your life,
Oh,
then I'm doing
big
my
time.
job.
Yeah. Even just the knowing, like, oh, dude, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm not like I don't have cancer or I don't have a big issue that I have to take care of. You know,
The peace of mind is priceless.
the peace of mind is priceless.
Yeah. MRI, the anatomical detail is second to none. So MRI has no radiation either.
But there's no side effects to that.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, as an athlete, I've had probably 30, 40 MRIs in my life. And,
Oh, wow.
and I'm still standing, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, no, there's no side effects. If we see something which is unique to us, if we see something that we don't like, we'll take additional
Oh
angles to it.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not-
Oh yeah. Because you guys did ask me like, what's the? And for me, it was my left shoulder. But you're
Yeah.
like, there's not really crazy
Right,
about
right.
it. So.
But then also, as you know, we meet with you afterward, go through all the scan with you.
Yeah.
Which I think is nice for the patient because if I get a scan, I want answers right away.
100%.
Now the advantage is I can look at my own scan, which I do.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. That's cool.
But again, treat your patient like your mother. If my mother gets a scan, I want to know what the answer
Right
is
away.
I don't want
Yeah,
to wait a
that's
couple
true.
weeks for the answer. So
Yeah, that's very
So we're
true.
trying to give you answers right away. In the regular world, you get a radiological image. You're going to wait anywhere from a couple days to whatever.
That's annoying.
And it's not the physician's fault because, for example, let's say you go to pick your academic or community medical center and you get an MRI or a CT, whatever it may be. There's a ton of those going on every day. And so there's a backlog and people are, radiologists are reading through those
Yeah.
scans. And so when they can get to it, then you get your answer.
It's not a good feeling to wait for medical stuff.
No, 100%.
Anything that has a big impact on your life to wait is not cool.
Yeah.
It's so not cool.
Yeah, the goal is to reduce the anxiety. I think
That's it. Yeah, there's no anxiety because you do it and then it's like, okay, cool. Let's talk about your stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And give you insights and give you an action plan. So you
Yeah,
can leave here with
right
it.
away.
What made you want to get the scan?
I wanted to get the scan because of medical stuff that happened when I was a kid. So I was always like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in shape. I feel like I'm okay. My mom, unfortunately, now has diabetes. She lost her sight. Her limbs are huge now. Kind of want to make sure, like even when I was with her in the hospital in Montreal, I asked the doctors, can you guys test to see? And they're like, you're in shape. You should be fine. Don't worry about it. I was like, okay. I still did it like the blood pressure and stuff like that. And it was fine. But I wanted to go further and really see if I was okay, at least all of my organs and stuff like that. And the peace of mind, riding that wave, it feels great.
That's great.
Yeah.
What did you find the most insightful?
The brain thing was like, it was so cool to know that it's like, oh, okay, so I'm doing something that's really good, And it's something that makes me feel good. Like if it wasn't for that, I didn't even know that it was that, but I was just like, I like to just rehearse lines and to read lines and to try to learn them. And I was like, yeah, I'll keep doing that. That's great.
You mentioned learning new tasks like the carpentry role. You're learning about that.
Just different things, because sometimes on set they'll be like, okay, you'll play a mechanic, and then you don't know what you're doing. And I want to look like I know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I want to be able to have so many skills.
And that's what makes you a good actor because you're
I think
you're
so,
trying to
yeah.
embody the role. Right?
You
You're trying
really
to
want
be
to embody
person.
that.
It's not just reading lines, it's really being that person.
No, I want to look like I know what I'm doing. I want it to be so authentic that I'm like, nah, if it's for a job, if I have to look like I'm a driver or I look like, I really want to know what I'm doing. I really want for someone to watch it and then to be like, wait, this guy is actually, where did they find him? I love that. That's the goal. What made you want to start this?
The standard screenings, colonoscopy is gold standard for colon cancer starting at age 45. But before that, there's no good screening. Mammography for age 40 and above, still gold standard for breasts, but then what about people younger than that? But those two are kind of gold standards, and then pap smears for cervical cancer. If you have a smoking history, low dose lung CT for smoking history. But there's no other good screening. So what about pancreatic cancer? What about ovarian cancer? Liver, fatty liver disease, heart disease, things that you can see the early manifestations on an MRI. You don't feel it necessarily at that point.
Wow.
So we're trying to find things early before they become a problem. And cancer's a big one, right? Because cancer, you find it early, like the 15 folks that we've found early, it's gonna be removed, and some of them already have, but removed, you're done with, right? Or you monitor and you're done with. But if it's too late or you're starting to have symptoms, oftentimes it's advanced. Oof. And the folks that have had symptoms, they've all had advanced cancer. So
oh wow.
We want to try to find things early. My goal is to change the paradigm where let's change from a reactive healthcare system and ecosystem to a proactive.
Nice.
Let's find things before they become problems. We built the fastest, most accurate, most comprehensive scan to do the whole body MRI. The algorithms that we have and the AI that we have is all ours.
Wow. I didn't realize. I thought it was just like the same thing that you have at the hospital. You have it here.
No. This is very modified.
No way.
It just feels good, right? Every patient,
For sure.
you can make their life
Yeah,
better.
for sure.
First of all, pleasure having you here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, fantastic
Thank
to
you.
see you again. Anything you want to tell our audience? Any health tips for them?
Like we said, for your brain, drive without GPS, learn lines, poems, and stuff like that.
I love that. And yeah, I'd like to remind our audience that make sure that you know your body.